As the golden sun began to paint the sky in shades of orange and pink, little Tommy Miller was playing with his toy trucks in the living room. The grandfather clock in the hallway chimed 8 times, signaling the start of something very special. Daddy's gentle voice called from the kitchen, and Tommy's eyes lit up brighter than fireflies. He dropped his trucks and ran toward the kitchen, his little sock-covered feet pattering across the wooden floor like raindrops on a roof. Tommy bounced on his toes with excitement, knowing exactly what time it was. Time for their special snack. Daddy smiled and ruffled Tommy's messy brown hair. First, they would need to visit their blackberry friends in the backyard garden. Together, they slipped on their cozy slippers and stepped out into the evening air that smelled like grass and growing things. The backyard was Tommy's favorite place in the whole wide world. Daddy had planted 3 blackberry bushes right next to the old oak tree, and they grew fat, juicy berries that looked like tiny purple jewels. Daddy handed Tommy a small wicker basket and reminded him of the important rules about berry picking. Tommy proudly recited what he had learned. Only pick the dark purple ones, leave the red ones to ripen, and always save some for the birds and bees. Daddy gave him a gentle high five for remembering so well. Together, they carefully picked the ripest, sweetest blackberries. Tommy would hold up each berry to show Daddy, and Daddy would nod approvingly at his perfect choices. The evening breeze whispered through the leaves above them, and a cricket began its gentle song. Tommy popped one tiny berry into his mouth, and the sweet tart juice made him do a little happy dance. The berries tasted like sunshine and summer, grown with love, sunshine, and lots of patient watering. When their small basket was full of the most beautiful berries, they headed back inside, ready for the next part of their special tradition. In the warm, cozy kitchen, Daddy lifted Tommy up to sit on the counter so he could watch everything that happened next. The really special part was about to begin. They were going to make their very own jam, just like Grandma used to make. Daddy washed the berries in a colander, then put the clean berries in a small pot with just a tiny bit of honey. As the pot warmed on the stove, the berries began to pop and sizzle, filling the kitchen with the most wonderful smell. It smelled like a berry fairy lived in their kitchen, and Tommy swung his legs and clapped his hands with delight. Daddy stirred the berries gently with a wooden spoon, and slowly, magically, they transformed into thick, purple jam. Tommy watched with wide eyes as the berries danced and bubbled. When Tommy asked to help stir, Daddy wrapped his big hands around Tommy's small ones, and together they stirred the jam until it was perfect. While the jam cooled, Daddy put 2 slices of soft golden bread into the toaster. The bread popped up with a cheerful ding, and Daddy buttered each slice until it was perfectly smooth and shiny. Meanwhile, Tommy had his very important job, pouring milk into their special mugs. There was a big blue one for Daddy, and a smaller red one with stars for himself. Tommy counted carefully as he poured 1 cup of milk for Daddy and 1 cup for himself. Daddy poured the milk into a small saucepan and warmed it on the stove until it was just the right temperature. Not too hot, not too cold, but perfectly cozy warm. Tommy asked why they warmed the milk, even though he'd asked this question 100 times before. Daddy explained patiently that warm milk helps our bodies get sleepy and ready for sweet dreams, and because warm things make us feel safe and loved. As the milk warmed, Daddy spread their homemade blackberry jam on the toast. The jam sparkled like tiny jewels, and when he was finished, each piece of toast looked like a work of art. Daddy carefully poured the warm milk into their mugs, and their bedtime feast was ready. They carried their special snack to the little table by the window, where they could see the first stars beginning to twinkle in the darkening sky. Tommy climbed into his chair, and Daddy sat beside him. They clinked their mugs together gently, toasting to blackberry dreams and bedtime magic, and to the best daddy in the whole world. As they ate their warm toast and sipped their cozy milk, Tommy told Daddy all about his day. He talked about the butterfly he saw in the garden, the tall tower he built with his blocks, and the funny face his teddy bear made when he tried to feed it pretend soup. Daddy listened to every word, nodding and smiling and asking questions that made Tommy feel like the most interesting person in the universe. Tommy's eyes were getting a little droopy as he shared stories about clouds that looked like dragons and sailing ships and adventures they could have together. As they finished their snack, Tommy's eyelids began to feel heavy. The warm milk was working its gentle magic, and the love filling his heart made him feel safe and content. Tommy yawned and asked if they would do this again tomorrow night. Daddy promised they would have their special bedtime snack together every single night, as long as Tommy wanted to. Even when Tommy was big like Daddy, some traditions are so special they last forever. Daddy gathered up their empty mugs and plates, then scooped Tommy up in his arms. He carried Tommy upstairs to his bedroom, where the nightlight cast gentle shadows on the walls. As he tucked Tommy under his soft, warm blanket, Tommy reached up and hugged Daddy tight. "Thank you for our special time together, Daddy," Tommy whispered. "I love our bedtime snacks, and I love our garden, and I love you most of all." "I love you too, little farmer," Daddy whispered back, kissing Tommy's forehead. "Sweet dreams, and dream of blackberry bushes and warm milk and all the love in the world." As Daddy tiptoed out of the room, Tommy closed his eyes and smiled. He could still taste the sweet jam on his lips and feel the warmth of the milk in his tummy. But most of all, he could feel the love that filled every moment of their special bedtime tradition. Outside his window, the blackberry bushes rustled softly in the evening breeze, already growing the berries for tomorrow night's magical snack. And Tommy drifted off to sleep, dreaming of gardens and jam and the best daddy in the whole wide world.